Hello everyone. So after a long time I'm building this project, so let me talk about something pretty interesting. So as you can see in the subject line, vintage phone connecting to generative AI. Well, what does that mean? It looks something different, right? So basically, I was trying to build this research project for a couple of engineering students. It's a requirement which I got from engineering college. So the goal of this project is to connect electromechanical pulses to generative AI, which is basically nothing but bridging the physical hardware systems, and the AI driven software processors. So basically there are several possibilities and applications for this integration, which essentially means that it's basically harnessing the real world signals, that's the electromagnetic magnetical signals, to influence or probably drive the AI generated outcomes. So let me just switch over and try to explain what I'm trying to achieve here. So basically I'm trying to, as you can see in the picture, so I picked up an old vintage dialer phone and try to use that particular electromechanical device which is used in the dialer phone, convert those pulses into the electromagnetical pulses into a digital pulse reading via any of the microcontrollers. Say for example, in my case I used Arduino, and maybe we could use ESP32 or any other microcontroller as well. So let me show you a short demo of what I'm trying to achieve. Let me switch over my cameras here. Alright, so this is the setup, guys, so don't get scared. So this is the old phone setup which comes with this kind of receiver and a microphone inbuilt. I think this is 1970s or something. I think probably before 1970s phone, but it's still available, but nobody uses it, and it comes with this kind of dialer. I tried to, so this comes with this entire phone comes with this kind of box, as you can see. So I just removed the casing, completely, and try to debunk into the hardware part. So as you can see, there's a bunch of resistors and the bridge rectifiers here. So what I try to do is connect this particular dialer system, hooked it up to Arduino, and with a digital 7 segment display with resistors and stuff like that. So basically what I'm trying to achieve is so this particular mechanical dialer phone will actually convert an electromechanical pulse into a digital signal using Arduino microcontroller, which involves generating electrical pulse from each dial. When we dial here, it's detected by the microcontroller to interpret the particular signal. So let me first explain you how this electromechanical dialer works, guys. That's more important. So for dialing a digit, the wheel is rotated against a spring tension with one finger positioned in the corresponding hole. So pulling the wheel with the finger to a stop position given by the mechanical barrier, the finger stops basically, right? So when released at the finger stop, the wheel returns to its home position driven by the spring at the regular regulated by this particular device. So during this return rotation, an electrical switch interprets the direct current DC of the telephone line and the specific number of times associated with each digit, and thereby which actually generates the electrical pulse which the telephone exchange decodes into each dial digit. So you would have seen in some old movies and kind of thing where there's a huge telephone exchange where humans actually operate with multiple wires and plug into switches. So that system does not exist anymore. So as you can understand, in a fundamental sense, as each number was dialed, the electromagnetical system below the dial would actually record many electrical pulses. Let me just remove this and show it to you. It comes like this. So there's a spring action and there's a switch actually here. If you can see, this switches, this particular switch, the number of dial you dial, it actually triggers. See, can you see that? So that number of triggers the latch switch dials, it generates the electrical pulse from this particular wire. It's electromagnetic system. So let me just fix it here again. It's little cumbersome and rustic, but it's working, which is the most interesting part. Let me just fix it here. So basically, let me also walk you through the meat of this project, converting electrical pulses generated through electromechanical dialer into a digital reading. This particular vintage dialer generates a varying different types of voltage signal that can be read by Arduino's digital output, or maybe we can use one of the analog pins. So I used analog read and also the digital write pin to convert the electrical pulse generated from here into a digital output. So the corresponding number should actually read. Of course, there are a bunch of lines of C++ code running into this to convert the electromechanical pulse into the digital signal. So basically, if the pulse is binary, say on or off, it can be directly connected to a digital input pin. The Arduino can detect the transitions from low voltage, that is the 0 voltage, to the highest voltage, which is 5 voltage, or vice versa. It can be reverse order, 5 volt to 0 volt as well. Basically, functions like digital read function is what I used in the code. So for more complex signals such as variable frequency or amplitude pulses, the pulse can be processed using analog pins, that is through analog read, right, or interpreted using the precise timing. So then the Arduino then converts this input into a digital signal, or counts the pulses to perform tasks such as frequency measurement or event counting or controlling devices based on the pulse inputs, and process data further to be stored or transmitted or displayed. So in this case I used a 7-segment display, as you can see here, and I'm going to show it to you now. So let me just quickly power up and try to dial up the numbers. Let me just hook up to the USB power, which is connected to my laptop. So as soon as I power, it should detect the 0. There you go. Let me just dial. Alright, 0 1. Let me try 2. Let me try 3. Okay, 3 is not working. Yeah, it's working. 4. There you go. 5. Let me try. Okay, 5 is working. 6. Alright, 7. There you go. And 8. Cool. 9. Perfect. Let me dial 0 again. It should start with 0. Okay, perfect. The system seems to be working fine. I'm just disconnecting this. Now the next stage is to look into various aspects of this particular projects. So the fundamental challenge out here is I'm able to convert the analog pulses into a digital signal which can be read through Arduino, as I explained, as I showed you here. But now the next challenge is collecting as much data as possible and try to come out with an innovative project what can be done using an electromechanical device and control any kind of digital devices outside the world through the internet. It's possible, right? So guys, it's a pretty interesting project, and once I complete this, I'm going to write the thesis and publish it, and let's see, let me take it forward from there. Good to see you. Bye bye.